So here we are with our lovely variations on the plain and simple 24/7 A-line and pencil skirts. Now in the first clip I showed you the A-line skirt, which is a really good basic skirt. This one is a version of pencil skirts, and it's also a very, very good basic skirt. Now on the pattern, when you look at it, you'll see that the pencil skirt is slightly pegged in, by which I mean it goes from the hips in a little bit towards the hem. But on this one I've straightened it off, and I've straightened it off because I wanted a very kind of Prada-esque look, which quite frankly I think I've achieved. I've used for this a really nice, the same cotton poly twill that you saw in the first one, in the black. I've used it in khaki this time because it comes out in a really beautiful khaki. But I've also done some ombre dyeing with it. And ombre is basically just a term for a colour fading in and fading out. And it's quite the look, it's quite a Prada look at the moment. And I really liked it. I thought it was a beautiful look, but of course finding ombre fabric is like next to impossible, but it's really easy to do yourself. If you go to any of the craft stores and you buy some dye, some spray on dye, they often have a little booklet in there that will tell you how to do it, but it's really, really simple. All you do is you wash and dry your fabric, press it really flat, you don't want any creases at all in it, and then lay it out on a plastic sheet. You can use an old shower curtain or a garbage bag or anything like that. And then you make up your dye, I beg your pardon, you spray it first, you spray it with water first all over. You make up your dye to full strength. You use a quarter of it along a band on the bottom, about a quarter of the way up you want it to go, and then you keep diluting, and you do it 4 or 5 times till you get different bands, and they all kind of fade in together. So I'm hoping you can see it in this lighting, but it basically goes from a much darker khaki, because I used a black dye, down to the proper khaki at the bottom. And of course the added advantage of this is it makes your hips and your tummy and your bottom look really small. Yay for that! So on this one, all I've done is I've straightened up the side seams and I've lengthened it a little bit, because that whole Prada looks a little bit longer and a little bit more kind of quirky looking. So it looks really good for that. But this again is a great basic shape. Once again, you can use it with a knit top, with a jacket, with a cardigan, really anything you like. You can toughen it up with a denim jacket or make it look very chic. It's really up to you. And I really like this one because although it's quite a fashion forward look, it will go for the next few seasons. And this one I've just done with a very simple lining inside, deep hemband. That's it. Very, very, very easy. I'm going to quickly show you the back now. Okay, so on the back, all we've got is an invisible zip, and can I just tell you, when you're doing ombre, it's really quite tricky to work out what colour thread and zips to use, because the colour changes from one part of the fabric to the other. So I ended up using a black invisible zip because that was the one that was going to sit properly on it. And for the overlocking on the inside, well, I just did what we call a melange, so I used some beige and some grey and some black and just hoped for the best, and it was fine. But this one's just got like a walking slit through here, which you can see. Really simple to make, very, very easy to wear, and incredibly flattering. Now if you're going to make one like this, a little bit longer and in a pencil, you really do need some kind of quirky shoe with it, and you do need a bit of a heel. Like I say, not a massive heel, but a little bit of one. If you go for a flat, 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 unless you're incredibly tall and incredibly willy-willy, in which case you are probably a model and you don't need to be listening to this, you will need to have some kind of heel, otherwise you look stumpy and that's not good. So now we're going to look at another couple of variations that are beautiful. So here is our third variation of our lovely plain and simple 24/7 A-line pencil skirts. And for this one I used the A-line skirt pattern, and you're probably noticing, well it's quite obvious really, that I've changed the top on this from the plain sunshine top to this one. And this one I made in a really nice kind of feathery print, and I wear it a lot and I get a lot of compliments on it. It's a really pretty top. Sadly I can't get the fabric anymore, of course not, it's just a random piece I bought from eBay. So I decided I wanted to do a skirt to go with it that was in kind of a print that would sit with it. And so I decided to paint my skirt. So it's a really, really easy thing to do. And this particular fabric, this is the same one as you saw in the first clip. This is the white cotton polyester twill from fabric.com. Really nice fabric to paint on as well. So despite the fact that I am a really appalling artist, I really am very, very bad at it, doing a kind of free form sort of feather shape was really, really simple. So I just kind of roughly did that kind of look. And I did a big one across the front, and then I did 2 very small but quite perky little ones on the back, which looks really pretty. And the other things I did with this that are worth you noting for your own use, I really wanted this to sit at the top hip, didn't want it to sit at the natural waist, so I left the contoured waistband facing off. And that's only 1.25 inches deep when it's finished, so that was really easy. It just drops down where I want it to be. And to finish the waist, I just used some contrast bias binding, which is a really nice kind of sporty finish, and it's something that's really useful to do. You can do it on any skirt you like, whether it's lined or not. This one isn't lined, I wanted it to be a summer skirt. But it's a really, really nice way to make a very kind of designery looking outfit out of very, very simple shapes. Now, there is one thing I should tell you about painting or dyeing or stenciling your fabric, which is it's really, really addictive. It really is. It's great fun and you get really good results. So you have to be very, very kind of disciplined about it and not go wild, because if you do, what will happen is your entire closet will be full of things that have got paint or stencils or something on them, and really you need some very, very simple basics as well. So that's my tip for that one. This is a really great simple summer skirt, and I really urge you to think about doing something like this on the A-line version of the plain and simple 24/7 A-line and pencil skirts. So this is the fourth and final version of our lovely plain and simple 24/7 A-line and pencil skirts, and this is a pencil skirt version. I've made this in a really nice, quite sturdy denim from fabric.com. I think it's about a 12 ounce, which you could also make a jean from, and I did that because I really wanted quite a kind of a fitted look, quite a kind of slick pencil skirt. And also, you know, with a firmer fabric, you've got a rough rule to follow, which is the more body the fabric has, the nearer the body it needs to be. Otherwise you get this very kind of clunky look, which is, you know, never pretty. So I did a basic pencil skirt with this in the black denim, and I think it's pretty darn sexy all by itself. But wait till you see what I did at the back. At the back, I've done an exposed separating zipper, and you do it up from the top. It does it from the top going down, so it does it like that way. And let me tell you, I wore this outfit out with Mr. Spielberger behind the camera there at the weekend for dinner, and I can safely say I looked the bomb in this. And given that I'm kind of a middle-aged, overweight mother of two, I thought I did pretty well. But this is a really, really nice idea to do a formal pencil skirt pattern in a casual fabric. It gives it a nice kind of quirky look. Now, a couple of tips when you're working with denim. You're going to use a denim needle. If you've got any sense, you really, really will use a denim needle, because it will go through the fabric much, much easier. And the other thing to say is that when I made this, I took out a little bit extra on the side seam allowances. The centre back seam allowance is normally 3/4 of an inch, and the side seams are 5/8 of an inch. So I just notched it up, so I then took 3/4 of an inch out on the side seams as well, because I wanted that very kind of near to the body fit, not grippy, not tight, but just a little bit slicker. And the other thing I did was, before I applied this, I measured the actual exposed part of the zipper, which was really just over 1/4 of an inch, and I took that out of my centre back seam before I did it. Now, I didn't line this, I didn't do anything special to it. It's really, basically, it's almost like a muslin, it's just a shell. But what I did do for the waistline is I lined it in lining, because I didn't want the extra bulk, and I did a very, very deep hem, about 2.5, maybe 3 inches, because I wanted that extra heft for it. But this is a really excellent way of making a very, very simple skirt pattern into something a little bit more glamorous and really nice and wearable. So that's the end for our plain and simple 24/7 A-line pencil skirts. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found the muslin fitting interesting and useful, because I think you will. And now all you have to do is go and make it. And thank you very much for watching.